Hello and good morning. It is the last trading day in October, the 29th of Friday. I wanted to go over my watch list this morning. Small cap NASDAQs have really been gaining some momentum lately. OTCs are lagging a little bit behind in the momentum department, but there are a few plays out there. The first one I wanted to go over was DPLS, which is Dark Pulse Incorporated. So this is a 1 year, 1 day chart. I'm actually going to pull that up full screen. So you can see it started gaining some momentum in this area, topped out, and then when it broke out over that, it went on a pretty good run. It went full supernova, max euphoria, whatever you want to call it. Then it came back down. 2 days ago, they came out with a PR outlining a strategic partnership of one of their subsidiaries, and it sent it on a little bit of a run. Yesterday was not as good. It put in a pretty big doji candle, closed right near its lows of the day and the opening price. It's not a sign of strength, so I wouldn't expect continuation today. In fact, quite the opposite. I would be hoping for a morning panic dip buy. So I need actually a couple of days. So this is a 5-day, 5-minute chart. So I'm looking for where there was previous support within a reachable level. So I'm thinking that the morning panic will probably bring it down to somewhere around 0.08. You can see there was some resistance there on the way up, and previous resistance turns into support. There's some resistance here. It spiked over momentarily, but not very far over. So this is the area that I would be watching the level 2 very closely, waiting for it to turn. I want to start seeing some green prints coming through as it drops down in the morning. And if I see that level 2 turn, then I will take a bite out of it and go for a 5 to 10% bounce. The second stock I wanted to take a peek at is INND. I actually played this not yesterday, but the day before. I bought in right here, actually. Nope, right here at 103, actually. And then it consolidated a little bit, dropped back down. My risk level, of course, was dropping below 1 penny. And then it spiked up, and I actually sold at 123. I really was thinking I wanted to hold it overnight, but I didn't want the overnight stress, and it's hard to say no to that nice little 15% gain momentarily. So I didn't hold overnight, and I should have. But INND did not close super strong yesterday. You can see it kind of sold off into the closing. So I want a morning panic out of this one as well. So I'm looking for where previous support was. Now it's kind of a little more difficult on this one because previous support, you know, a real number would be somewhere right around 1, which I don't think we're going to get that kind of panic out of it. So kind of arbitrary, but I put my previous support around 1.3. You can see it supported a little bit out of the open yesterday, around 1.3, and then right here at 1.35 it had some support. So somewhere in this area I would be watching again for the level 2 to turn. If it starts sending a bunch of green prints through, there's some bid stacking, then I'd probably enter somewhere in this area and again go for a 5 to 10% bounce. The next one I want to look at is AABB. This is a cryptocurrency play. They came out with a PR yesterday, I believe. Let me take a peek. Yeah, so they announced a proprietary cryptocurrency exchange launch, and it's coming soon. So this one actually will probably have some continuation today. You can see it's actually gapping up pretty nicely to the 123 area. From the 115-ish area, and we'll pull that up full screen again. And go. This is a yearly chart, one year, 1 day chart. So you can see it's been it's a previous runner, so that puts it pretty high on my list. It's had multiple green days in a row before, and looks pretty strong at this point. This might be a buy the rumor, sell the news type of play, where a lot of people are going to get in before the launch of their proprietary cryptocurrency exchange. Anyways, yesterday it closed pretty strong, pretty close to its highs. It's gapping up this morning, so this is going to set up for what I like to call the OTC dip and rip pattern. I'm not claiming that name, but I like the name. So what I'm looking for is a lot of people probably took this overnight. They're going to sell the gap up, so it's going to maybe initially spike, and then I'm hoping that it pulls back some, probably somewhere towards the closing price yesterday. And then I'm going to look for it to put in a higher low, and then I'm going to enter there and see what it can do. And then I'll be risking off the actual low of day or yesterday's closing price, depending on where it is in comparison. The next stock I wanted to take a peek at was TGI. Sorry, I'm having a little bit of a tough time speaking today, I guess. Now TGGI, we'll pull up the 1 year, 1 day chart. So this is a previous runner as well. You can see it broke out here and spiked nicely. I believe I played a little bit of that breakout, but yesterday it had a pretty big green day. Let's see, was there a PR? So there wasn't a PR that's popping up on TD Ameritrade, but I believe there was one that came up in Stocks to Trade Breaking News. So it ran pretty good yesterday. It's kind of a bounce play. It's flirting with that 1 penny area, which can be a little bit weird action for a stock. Now this one, I'd like to see panic a little bit out of the open. I'd like to see it drop to about 0.008, which I identified as previous support, somewhere between 0.0075 and 0.008. There was some intraday support here, as well as on the yearly chart up here. You can see there's some support in that area as well. So I'd really like to see that hold that area. Watch the level 2, wait for the turn, hop in and take 5 to 10%. Next stock is Phil. Now Phil had a okay green day yesterday. They had a PR on the 26th, which you can see it reacted a little bit to, and then it broke over that high yesterday, and it's kind of consolidating. Definitely consolidated near its highs yesterday and then closed pretty strong. So I'm looking for a dip and rip out of the gate on this one as well. You know, a little bit of a gap up or a little bit of a spike in the first few minutes, and then I want to see it put a low in and then a higher low. TSOI. I'd like to see this have a morning panic dip buy. It put in a pretty good day yesterday. It ran from 0.0375 all the way up to a max of 0.056 it looks like, but it wasn't able to hold those gains, so it actually came back down to the 4.6 level. I'd like to see this panic dip by to about the 4 area, and the reason for that is you can see there was some resistance there as well as previous support here. So again, resistance turns into support, so if it can keep that area, I'll watch the level 2, wait for the turn, and hop in. The last one I wanted to take a peek at is AHFD. Now this obviously spiked pretty big, and it's on the backside now. I think this one's probably about due for a first green day. I don't know if it'll be today. It might not happen. But I'm going to keep this one on watch. I'm going to look for a first green day bounce idea. So when it finds support, and it might be all the way down at this 0.001 area, but when it finds support, I want to see it go from red to green on the day and have a lot of volume, and then hopefully it will put in a nice little run. And that's all I got on watch for today. I'm going to be keeping an eye on the small cap NASDAQs as well. I don't have any on watch, but I will buy into strength on those. They've been running pretty crazy, so I'd like to capture some of those moves as well. Well, thank you guys. Best of luck and happy green days.